I have three actually, one of which is not mine. And I'll read that one first. These are actually the lyrics to the song that Dustin got me into by Al Stewart. It's an early piece before he discovered his folk, his historic folk side. This is just more along the lines of general folky, and it's called "In Brooklyn." Oh, I come from Pittsburgh to study astrology, she said as she stepped on my instep. I can show you New York with a walk between 4th Street and 9th. And out of her coat, taking 7 harmonicas, she sat down to play on a doorstep, saying, "Come back to my place, I will show you the stars and the signs." So I followed her into the black lands, where the window frames peel and flake, and the old Jewish face behind the lace, even hungry, trying to get to see what's cooking. Just John the Baptist in the park getting laid, thinking there's no one looking, and it's 80 degrees, and I'm down on my knees in Brooklyn. Her house was a dusty collection of rusty confusion with landings and tunnels, and leaning bookcases and spaces and faces and things. 125 Puerto Ricans, Manhattan Mohicans, and Jewish-Italian pawnbrokers lead their theatrical lives in their rooms in the wings, while outside in the black lands, the violent day runs wild, and the black and white minstrels run through the crazy alleys while the cops go booking, and ruthless, toothless agents sneak around, and there's no one looking. And it's 80 degrees, and I'm down on my knees in Brooklyn. I know I'm back in the city again. You can tell by the smell of the hamburger stand in the rain. She spoke of astrology while muttering apologies of coffee that tasted of hot dogs. I said, "That's okay, mine was cold anyway, and just grand." And she lay on the bed while the radio fed us with records and adverts for cat food. And I looked at her, holding my thoughts in the palm of my hand. And outside in the black lands, the evening came and went, and the bums in the streets begging money for one last drink or hanging around the liquor stores trying to get a foot in. And the girl from Pittsburgh and I made love on a mattress with a new moon looking. And in the cool evening breeze, I was down on my knees in Brooklyn. Thank you. And second piece is the piece I actually wrote for Al Stewart, and I'd like to invite Trey up to read every other stanza with me.
I can do that.
So it's called As You Are.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Awesome sauce. As You Are. Set the course for northern skies, for it meets the point of the west's ears. One exposure to Lonnie Donegan and the musical invasion commences. The people are riddled with false illusions of time.
Passages from text in the library of the Great Hall. Why write what has already been written? Why speak what has already been spoken? Altered words vocalized from the mouth of inspiration's left hand, from Soho to kneeling down in
Brooklyn, the home of her heart. Brooklyn, the sanctuary to the raw and hunchback. Brooklyn, the haven to astrology's lover. Brooklyn, the demise of society's voice. From edible product vendors to visualizing the futuristic flight maneuvers. Try if you must, but one cannot reverse the Immelman.
Turn away, O great sage, for if it were up to a greater presence, a higher being, there would be camaraderie between the wars. Where does the writing on the wall belong? What fine printed context is read between the lines? But, dear fellow, you don't even know.
Me, a mere gosling amidst the regal doves, a casualty from one too many domestic quarrels. The past is present within reminiscent Tuesdays. The present is the key to the past, one said. The future is but a relapsing flash forward memory. 'Tis difficult to see anything wearing the terminal
Eyes wide open, but the mind shuts like a carnivorous botanic specimen. Such teeth bite down on long-term changes that claim they can change when the jaws crush the consumption of my contemporaries that need to be compared to a tea that must engage in a necessary meeting of the mind, synchronization of century-old sayings, row on, drive on, fly on, go on.
The border, a sand land at risk, multitude of guards and canines at their posts. The one you speak of, placed between the Parisian and Barcelonan, contains treasure fathoms below. But since we survived, the triumph lies at the end of the
Day in, day out, a concerto fades inward, commemorating the service fighters, playing the drum of the elders, marching to the beat of memorial funerals. The modern times have taken on an orange character. Speak to her, the chances are zero.
She flies to a one-way destination. She knows the underrated tunes of yesterdecade. Dance with the blind moles in the underground palace, ablaze with lamplight, along with the age-young immortalized knights. 75 across the North African realm and Vietnamese stars was the year of the... Thank you. And last but not least, I'm going to be reading a poem from my book that Weasel Press published this year. It's called Wolf, an Epic and Other Poems, and it was the first epic poem I've ever written. And get yours today on Amazon. So, and it's a commercial. And it's this is going to be in the other section of other wolf and werewolf related poems besides the epic itself. I need a flashlight. Werewolves Among Us. When one steps into the shoes of the city, infected with a potpourri of mixed content, paranoia seems to be the new hipster fad, circulating amongst young heads of the X and Y. It even became the mainstream. Blowing wind answers and icicle throats ask why the moons of Saturn appear tonight. The planet already wrestles with the ever-growing number of ring girls they were all proposed to on a bleak Wednesday morning. Though divorced, broken, and cynical, the rings are symbolic of what once was and what shall be. Throw a rock into the city, completely headstrong and confident in nearly every life. Let us remind you that you are the product of what is to be told. Genuinely human, during the day hours that crawl, no such person could obtain a large quantity of power. A common stockbroker hugging the tight ends of Wall Street in the light of the moon? Nay, this condition is hereditary. No curse. This is truly a gift, sent to promise a drifter dreams beyond any twisted imagination. This is truly a gift from the gods below. Guardians of day, businessmen and businesswomen. But at night, the creature sees it. Fur tears through the clothes of a bystander standing, looking at the bountiful moon, looking at the dark of it, looking at the full of it, looking at every dark side. It stares back with holy eyes. Do not trouble your pretty little head, your friends are beside you. Do you believe in the madness and beast within? Come feast on the prey of darkest possibilities. Retrieve the leftovers. Your horrendous fiend has come to snatch you. Thank you much. Poetry lives.